What about for the drivers?
The car needs to be redesigned. That it needs a full redesign. I mean, it can still be called NextGen, but it needs to be redesigned.
So
How
you need to
much
start
of it?
over from scratch.
It needs to be redesigned everywhere, front, middle, rear, competition. The whole thing needs to be redesigned. It's, we got a tough Martinsville race that's coming up. It's gonna be tough, and this thing's just gonna get exposed about how bad it races, and that's just a part of it. The competition and safety. We'd like to have it all better, but certainly we just took a step back in safety and competition this year.
What about the timing of it, Denny? I mean, being able to get it done before the end of the season? I mean,
Yeah, we just
obviously-
were late to the party. It's tough. We brought up these concerns with NASCAR last winter. We actually, as the drivers, didn't do that docu-series last year because we didn't feel comfortable with this next-gen car and the safety, the lack of safety testing that had been done before they started announcing that they were going to run it. So it's just we threw up red flags over a year ago, and they just didn't respond. They just kept pushing that this car's got to be on the racetrack at all costs. At all cost.
A complete redesign is probably not likely, I'm guessing.
No, again,
So what do you do?
If I were to run this and say, all right, next year we're going to have a new car, we'd already be done with testing now for next year's car. We haven't even begun. We're just way too behind. This whole sport's behind. Nothing happened.
We've seen a lot of drivers speak out about the car and everything, excluding yourself and Brad, who are owner drivers. Are teams not involved enough or speaking out enough in this, and what is their stance on redesigning the car?
Well, we have to ask ourselves why we have the next-gen car, and it's to save the teams money, to cut cost. The sanctioning body has want to cut cost for the teams because it refuses to pay them. So they're trying to cut our costs so they don't have to pay. So this is why we're in the box that we're in. All this is revolving around cutting costs, and so that's why we're running this next-gen car, and that's essentially why we're in this box.
Can you and Harvick are on Twitter, being so emphatic. What are you trying to get accomplished immediately? What's the first step that you're trying to push by doing that?
Trying to get someone to talk to us and listen.
And you don't feel like that's still happening?
Nobody has reached out to either one of us.
Denny, this car was even delayed a year with the pandemic, so how are we still in this position where it's this bad?
Bad leadership.
Last time I can think of anybody getting hurt this often was back in the 90s, and that obviously resulted in what we don't want to talk about, but how do we avoid something like that from happening again?
New leadership.
When you say leaders, bad leadership, who are you, who specifically?
I don't know, you just start at the top and work your way down.
Move forward. Because so there's so much that has to get done. How do you move forward?
I don't know how you move forward. You just trust that someone's gonna wake up and say, all right, we didn't do a good job, we admit it, and we're gonna do better starting right now. We're gonna be retroactive, and we're not gonna be so reactive. We're not gonna wait till something bad happens to fix it. We see it with rules, and we see it with competition. It's all reactive, right? Never are they in front of anything. So you just have to hope and pray that they wake up and have a different mentality.
Harvick has been very outspoken, and certainly your experience that can make you a leader in the garage. But no,
we can't do it alone. We can't do it alone though. The other guys they'll bitch and moan to us, but they need to have their voice heard as well. They're going to be in the sport for a long time, and when me and Kevin are gone, someone has to step up and be the voice of reason and call things as they are. I know a lot of these young guys are just happy to be here, but they ain't going to be happy to be here when their brains are scrambled for the rest of their lives.